For the third straight game, the only Leafs goals of the hockey game are in the third period. The Leafs have not scored a goal, period, in the first two periods of each of the last 3 games. Arizona, you lost 2-0, so you didn't score anything at all. St. Louis, he had nothing for the first 2 periods. You make some great comeback late in the third period, and you lose it in overtime. Today, the Leafs, in the second period, didn't score anything in the first, had lots of chances. One in shots, was it 12-8 or something, right? 12-8 in the first period. You didn't score any goals. 12-8 doesn't matter at this point. Second period, Washington gets a power play, and there's some controversy about that power play because Ovechkin kicked, I forgot whose stick it was. It was on the ice, and he kicked it out of the way. You can't do that. That is a penalty. Now, you could arguably say, well, he didn't kick it much, but you just said he kicked it then. So that is a penalty. They miss it. And Morgan Rielly takes a holding penalty, like 10 seconds after, maybe not even that. They go to the power play, and Ovechkin sets up in his office and scores. Zach Hyman can't get out there fast enough. That's a problem. And the Capitals have the 1-0 lead, Ovechkin's 43rd of the year. Under 8 minutes left in the second period. Leafs still trying to get back into the game. Yeah, Brett Connolly outweighs Frederik Andersen and pots it into the empty net, and it's a 2-0 Caps lead. So for the second consecutive game, for the third consecutive game, the Leafs have had a 2-goal deficit to overcome. The first game they didn't do it. Last game they did, and then lost in overtime. Let's see if they can do it here. Well, third period rolls around, and Andreas Johnsson buries in an Austin Matthews rebound. He had the wraparound going on to Austin Matthews, and it ends up on Andreas Johnson's stick into the back of the net. And his 16th goal of the year, and the Leafs have cut the lead, cut the deficit to 2-1 as the Caps still lead. Now, a minute after that, the Leafs get a power play. Zach Hyman grinding away in front of the net. Draws a penalty from John Carlson. He ain't happy. But the Leafs got a power play looking to tie this baby up just like that. On that assuming power play. How many guys do the Leafs have on the ice? Okay, well, they have 5. Usually have 2 defensemen and 3 forwards. And if you're on a power play, sometimes 4 forwards and a defenseman. That's what the Leafs usually have out there. The Leafs cause a turnover in the offensive zone. And the Capitals come down on a 2-on-1. What does that tell you? 4 Leafs were below the hash marks. 4. And none of them could come away with the puck. There was no one supporting whoever the heck. It was probably Mitch Marner because he plays that defensive spot on the power play. He goes down to pinch in. No one's there to help him. No one's there to kind of take his spot and make sure you have guys back. Morgan Rielly's trying to hang in there right back on the 2-on-1. And Lars Zeller to Tom Wilson to the back of the net. And the Capitals take a 3-1 lead shorthanded. You just cut the lead to 2-1. You have the momentum. You just get a power play. The building's rocking. They're feeling good. And then you do that. Communication. Someone sees Marner going down the side or going towards the puck down around the circle area. Support the guy. Get back at the blue line. No one does. You have a 2-on-1 the other way, and you're back to being down by 2 at 3-1. It's killing me. I mean, it's the simple stuff of hockey that's killing me. And then we go at about 6-7 minutes left. Tavares in front to Mitch Marner. Braden Holtby stacking the pass. Mitch Marner shoots. No, he doesn't. Holtby's almost out of the net, out of the crease even. Sprawling out, doing the stack the pads. And Mitch Marner's like, I'm not going to outweight him and put it into an empty net. I'm going to try and go backdoor pass to Zach Hyman, who's covered. Instead, he does that. Hey, Hyman can't get a piece of it. He goes through the crease, and that's it for that chance. That could have made it a 3-2 game with like 5 or 6 minutes left. You pull the goalie. Who knows what happens? By the way, Tavares does score with 30 seconds left. So I'm not saying everything would have gone the same way, but you could have tied the game. It's the simple stuff. And it's not like Mitch Marner was like, at the top of the circle or something like that. He was below the hash marks, just outside the blue paint. Why is he trying such an in-tight pass so close to the net when the goalie's down and out? Oh, it's just, it kills me. And then the same thing happens 15, 20 seconds after that. But Holtby's standing up, and Mitch Marner fires the puck at him. And I'm like, Mitch, you should have shot the other one other than that one. I'm glad he shot that one, but it should have been the other one too. Oh. And like I said, John Tavares scores his 34th of the year with 33 seconds left, assisted by Morgan Riley. And that's all she wrote. I'm tired of stretch passes, and I'm tired of dump and chase hockey. I want to talk about a few things. The reason why I don't like those two. Because I don't really broken them down totally. Well, first things first, actually. Can we stop blaming our defense and Frederik Andersen for a second? And anybody says, well, they weren't good tonight. The Leafs have scored 4 goals in the last 3 games. This team averages 4 a game or 3, just under 4 a game. Not 1 a game. They've not scored lately. That's why they're losing games. Now, let me get to those 2 points. Why do I hate stretch passes? Well, I can tell Leaf fans why we are going to hate them even more. Let's assume the Boston Bruins are going to be the team the Leafs will play in the first round. Let's say the standings stay the same and we are on the road in Boston. Stretch passes could lead to a bunch of things. And the Bruins are a team that has dominated the Leafs this year. You know why? Because they've eliminated that stretch pass. So what does that leave you? Well, you can either try the stretch pass and have a really difficult time with it. Try the stretch pass again and have it go for icing. And the problem with that is you give them an offensive zone faceoff with Patrice Bergeron at the faceoff circle. And who are his line mates? Marchand and Pasternak. Do you guys know how much those guys dominate the Leafs? It's the simple things. It's thinking, what will come of this? And it's the times where the Leafs are just flicking the puck up in the air and it loops into center ice and drops down. Oh, but the Capitals get the puck again, and then now they're in again trying to score. I know you want to get the puck out, but put a little bit of effort into it. Enter the zone. Look, the Leafs got to use their speed to their advantage. Use it. Enter the zone with blazing speed. If not, drop it off. Get another entry. If you have to dump it in, fine, do it. But the Leafs are not a physical team. They are not a team that is going to go in there and crunch bodies. Jake Muzzin can do that, but that's one guy. You have 12 forwards and 60. Do the math. That's 18 players. One guy is a guy that can hit. You're not a heavy team. You're not a team that's going to run through players. So, dump and chase hockey is a tough form of hockey. The Leafs aren't built for that. So why do you do it on a consistent basis? Well, what should you do, James? Well, entering the zone and using what your assets are, speed, enter the zone, drop it back, and then kind of set up and work things around. And if you can't, use your speed, and if there's no lane, boom, dump it off the boards and get going at it, right? Use the qualities you are good at. Mike Babcock. Hello? Now, I know I'm just some guy blabbering to his screen here, and he's the coach of the Toronto Maple Leafs, but from what we are seeing, from what I am seeing, is that stretch passes have not worked lately. Dump and chase has not worked lately because you have not scored in 6 periods in the first or second in the last 3 games. Going back to the St. Louis game, you had a stretch where you didn't score for 5 periods. You got shut out in Arizona, and you didn't score through the first 2 in St. Louis. And it took 2 greasy ones for you to get back in that game, too. I don't know. It's people talk about, well, we need a defenseman at the deadline. We need a defenseman. Yeah, we do. But it's the simple things that are just eating away at our brains, and it's killing me. You're playing outside your form of hockey, dump and chase. and you're trying the impossible pass with when they work, they look beautiful. But most of the time they don't work, and teams know, well, the Leafs are going to do a stretch pass. We're going to stack up the blue line and see what they can do with it. And look at the last 3 games. And the games against the Boston Bruins. Those are teams that have the Arizona Coyotes dominated you. Does that say anything? It's brutal. It's rough. Next game for the Leafs is probably one of the biggest of the year at this point in time. The Leafs welcome in the Montreal Canadiens to Scotiabank Arena. They're smoking the Flyers tonight 5-0 as of right now. With that win, they will be only 3 points back of the Leafs. If I'm not mistaken, let me check that out actually right here. Yeah, they'll be only 3 points back of the Leafs, and the Leafs will still have a game in hand. The Leafs got to wake up. And Saturday against Montreal at Scotiabank Arena is huge. But please take into account that you're so good at certain things. Use it. Don't go out of your way to play old-time dump and chase garbage. Because if you're the Winnipeg Jets, a big lug of a team, or even the Boston Bruins, you can do that. But the Leafs should not. Now, they're still going to, and nothing's going to change, really, I think, in my eyes, which sucks. But I'm just trying to speak my mind, and I hope you guys agree with me. If not, I feel like an absolute moron, but I want to hear your guys' thoughts towards all of this, all right? So you know what, guys? That is going to do it for this one. You guys enjoyed this video, and you know what? This is actually a rage video, so hope you guys enjoyed this rage video. Hit that like button if you guys enjoyed this one. Hit the subscribe button if you guys have not already. Comment down below what you think of the game. What you think of the Leafs. What are your thoughts on the whole dump and chase and stretch pass garbage we've been seeing lately from the Toronto Maple Leafs? Also, what do you think they can improve on? Also, trade deadline is on Monday. What do you think this team should go after? If you listen to the podcast that Evan and I recorded today, links are in the description, by the way, for that. We talked about Chris Kreider from the Rangers, who's a body who likes to bang around and play tough, and he's a great offensive player having a career year right now. Or a guy like Brett Pesce on the Carolina Hurricanes, defenseman, right-handed, big, great cap. You know, I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts? Who do you think you'd want at the trade deadline on Monday? I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if anything. I don't know if anything will happen, but I don't know. I really don't know what to say, guys. This one just, it hurts. It really does. All right. So, like I said, guys, links are in the description for the podcast channel and the podcast on iTunes. Links are all down in the description. Twitter is also down below, guys. Follow up. Send me a DM. Do all that great stuff, and I will talk to you guys. Jay's edition at some point, spring training edition. And we'll talk to you guys Raptors edition tomorrow night as the Raptors welcome home DeMar DeRozan. Raptor fans, I think we can all agree this is a game that has been highly anticipated since July. And it's finally here. DeMar DeRozan will be back in Scotiabank Arena, but this time he'll be in a San Antonio Spurs jersey. And it is going to be one heck of a night tomorrow in Toronto and in Scotiabank Arena there against the San Antonio Spurs, all right? And as for the Leafs, guys, like I said, they take on the Montreal Canadiens on Saturday night. I think that's their next game, right? They don't play on... they don't play tomorrow. So the Leafs play... so Saturday against Montreal, 7 o'clock puck drop. Craig Anderson. Carey Price versus Frederik Andersen are the expected starters and almost the 100% starters in that game. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video, because it was well needed for me to come in here and just let loose. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll talk to you guys then.